So I have a few examples of inequalities. We are working on chapter 3, algebra 1 for middle school. And I have the following examples of multi-step inequalities that we are working on. And we are going to work today as example um, for my class. Because of COVID-19, we are not having them in the classroom. So I'm recording this video so they can follow the following examples, and then we can work out questions on during the class period. So it's one way to save some time for the class. So remember that inequalities is almost, I'm going to say, almost the same as equations. The only difference is the sign. In equations, we use the equal sign, and it doesn't matter where the variable goes. X is equals to 2 or 2 is equals to x. It's equal. Okay, that's the inequalities. That's the equality sign. Now, in inequalities, the inequality sign is really important. Because it's going to tell us, number one, what is the set of solutions, and number two, where the graph is going according where the variable is. Okay, so in this case, for example number one, I have example number one here. I have 2 and then parentheses 3b plus 3 greater than 18. So we're going to start with one easy example. It's a multi-step process. We're going to take more than 2 steps, and in this case I have this problem. So what I'm going to do first, distributive property. Every time we see that parenthesis there, we are called for distributive property. So in this case, I'm going to have 2 times 3b, 2 times 3, and let's follow those steps. 2 times 3 is equals to 6b. 2 times 3 is 6 greater than 18. Okay, so I have my variable 6b plus 6 is greater than 18. So what I'm going to do next, cover that variable and get rid of that plus 6 by the opposite operation. In this case, minus 6 in both sides. That operation is not going to change the direction of the inequality sign. So in this case, 6 minus 6 is 0, is what we call cancel out. And then I have 18 minus 6 equals to 12. So let's drop 6b. 6b is greater than 12. And then remember, if I have a number multiplying the variable, we are going to use division to get rid of it. So divide by 6 in both sides of the inequality. Because it's positive, it's not going to change the direction of the inequality sign. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. We divide out. Greater than 12 divided by 6 is equals to 2. So I have b is greater than 2. Now we need to graph. Remember, graph, as I mentioned in class, we have a number line. It's not as straight as I can, but we're going to draw. I'm just going to draw a 2, and we're going to draw a circle. It's going to be open. Why? Because the inequality sign, as you can see, is just greater than, not equal. That means 2 is not included in the solution set. And the inequality sign, if the variable is on the left, is going to tell me where the graph is going, to the right. So in this case, the graph is going to the right. You can just draw whatever arrow you want. What that means, whatever number greater than 2 is solution to that inequality. For example, if you choose 3, 3 is greater than 2. True. If you choose 2.1, 2.1 is greater than 2. Yes, it's true. If you choose 2, 2 is greater than 2. No, that's not true. So that reason why 2 is open. That circle is open. Okay, that's example number 1. Let's move to example number 2. So I have a bigger one, 2 parentheses, both sides of the inequality. let's not panic about it. Remember, if you have parentheses, it's called for distributive property, 8 times 3, okay? 8 times -3, -6 times x, and -6 times 2. So what we have, let me move this one here. So what we have in this case is 8 times -3 is equals to -24x, okay? 8 times -3 is equals to -24, again, less than 6 times, -6 times x is equals to -6x, and -6 times -2 is equals to positive. Negative and negative is positive. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, now, decision. You need to take a decision in this case. Remember, the variable can go wherever you want. That's what I said in equations. The variable can go to the left, or the variable can go to the right. It doesn't matter in equation. X is equals to 2, 2 is equals to x is the same. In inequalities, we need to be a little bit careful, because then we can get a little bit confused when we try to graph. So in this case, I'm going to move most of the variables to the left side of the inequality. Personal decision. Other times I'm going to move it to the right, but you're going to see what I'm going to do. So in this case, I'm going to move 6x to the left. So plus 6x. 6 is negative. I'm going to use the opposite. Plus 6x. Okay. -6 plus 6 is 0. Cancels out. And then I have -24 plus 6 is equals to 18 negative x minus 24 is less than 12. Okay, so now I have two-step inequality. We know how to use and we know how to solve that one. So we cover the variable. We use the opposite of 24 plus 24 plus 24. Okay, and then 24 and 24 goes away. They are same opposite sign. They cancel out. Drop -18 is less than 12. And then, it's 12 plus 24 equals to 36. This one is 36. Almost made a mistake. So divided by -18 now. Divided by -18. And remember that rule. If you divide or multiply by a negative number, the inequality sign will change direction. I call it flips, okay? So in this case, it's less. Now it's going to be greater than, I have 36 divided by -18 is equals to -2. Now we graph. So we draw a line here. I'm going to draw a line here, here. And we're going to start at -2. Open, again, the dot is going to be open because it's just greater than, not equal. And the variable is at the left. So the inequality sign is telling us that the graph goes to the right. Okay? That's the method that we're using. So whatever number greater than -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is solution to that inequality. Okay, that's problem number 2. As you can see, problems are getting bigger. We're calling for multi-step inequalities. So the next problem that we have is 4 minus parentheses m plus 3 less equal than negative m minus 8 minus 5. So what we are going to do in this case, distributive property again in those parentheses. Now, we need to be careful because that negative doesn't have any number. That means you can put a 1 if you want. That's what I'm telling my students. Put 1 and then apply distributive property. In other words, that sign, what's going to do is change the signs that are inside the parentheses. -1 times m, -1 times 3, -1 times m, and -1 times -8. So let's do it. So 4, -1 times m is -m, -1 times 3 is -3, less equal than -1 times m is -m, Negative 1 times negative a is positive a minus 5. Okay, now let's clean up a little bit, is what I said. That means simplify. The common, in this case, the like terms, 4 and negative 3. So I'm going to put negative m. 4 minus 3 is 1, less equal than negative m. 8 minus 5 is equals to positive 3. Again, remember, variables to one side. It's up to you. I'm going to move it to the left. So I have negative m, so I'm going to use the opposite, positive m, positive m. Okay, these ones cancels out, and as you can see in the other side also cancels out. So now what I do, that's the question that everyone asks. So I have 1 less equal than 3. I ended with that expression. 1 is less equal than 3. Now, what we're going to do in this case is just look at the inequality. Is 1 less than or equal to 3? That's a true statement. I'm going to say this is true. This is true. So in this case, what is the solution? Because I don't have variable. So the solution is all real numbers. In this case, my solution is all real numbers. Okay? Whatever number you choose is going to be solution of that inequality. Okay? So that's the solution, all real numbers. Every time your variables cancel out, then you look at your inequality. Is 1 less than 3 or 1 less equal than 3? So it's yes. So all real numbers. Okay, those are the first 3 problems. Let's do a few more. For example, now look at that one as a big one. Okay, remember, every time try to simplify on the left, on the right. If you see parentheses, distributive property. So that's what we are going to do. See these two, negative 7 and negative 5. I can simplify. So in this case, what I'm going to have, I have negative 7 minus 5 is equals to negative x minus 12 is greater than, now look at this one, distributive property. 6 times, negative 6 times 1, negative 6 times x, negative 6 times 1, negative 6 times negative 8. So let's do the following ones. So negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times 1, negative 6. And negative 6 times negative a is positive, in this case 42x. Now, on the right side, I can simplify negative 6 and negative 6. And also I can do negative 6 plus 42x. So let's simplify those ones. These ones, there is nothing to do here, so we just rewrite this one. X minus 12 is greater than negative 6 minus 6 is equals to negative 12. And then I have negative 6x plus 42 is equals to, in this case, wait, this one is 48, and then negative 6x, negative 6x plus 48 is equals to negative, positive 42x. So I just simplify those ones. So 48. So in this case, look at the x in the right, x on the left. I'm going to move this 42 to the left side, okay? So I have minus 42x, minus 42x. So this one cancels out. So I have x minus 42 is equals to negative 41, x minus 12 greater than negative 12. Now this 12 is negative, plus 12 plus 12. Cancels out. Both sides, as you can see. So I have negative 41x is greater than 0. If this one cancels out, is 0. Okay? So you get 0 on that side. Now, what we're going to do is negative 41 is multiplying, so we're going to divide, okay, by the same number, both sides of the inequality. And if you multiply or divide by the same by a negative number, the inequality sign changes direction. So in this case, what we are going to have is x is less than 0, because 0 divided by 41, negative 41 is 0. So in this case, that's my solution. X is less than 0. Now we're going to graph. I'm going to do it here on the side. Just choose a point, 0, that's 0. And is less, not equal, so we're going to open dot. Where the inequality sign goes? To the left. So my graph goes also to the left, okay? And that's the solution. That's the solution for that problem number 4. I'm going to do 2 more. I think I have time for 2 more. So in this case, look at that one. Again, multi-step inequalities. We are simplifying distributive property. Then we are like terms, putting together like terms. So in this case, be careful. You cannot do negative 1 plus 2 because this 2 is multiplying the parentheses. Parentheses goes first. It gets priority. So 2 times negative 5, 2 times 2, negative 1. Remember that it can be negative 1 times negative 4x, negative 1 times 8. So in this case, what I have, negative 1 minus 10. 2 times 2 is plus 4x is less than negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4x. Negative 1 times positive a is negative 8 minus 3. Now we're going to simplify a little bit. So negative 1 minus 10 is equals to negative 11 plus 4x is less than 4x. Negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11. Again, see that these 2 variables, let's move 1. So I'm going to do negative 4, negative 4x. So cancels out both sides, as you can see, because they are the same number, opposite sign. So what I have, negative 11 is less than negative 11. Now, again, the question, is negative 11 less than negative 11? That's the question that we are asking us at this moment, okay? Is negative 11 less than negative 11? No, this one is not true, because negative 11 is equal to negative 11. So in this case, what is the solution? No solution. That one is no solution, okay? So we cannot have a solution on that problem because the inequality is not true. Okay, let's move to the next one, number 6. Let me move a couple papers that I have here. So I have negative 1 minus 6 parentheses 1 minus 7b is greater than negative 39 plus 8b. So what I'm going to do, again, distributive property on the left side, negative 6 times 1 and negative 6 times 7. As you can see on the right side, there is nothing to do, no simplification. So I'm just going to proceed. So in this case, I'm going to have 1 minus 6. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 7 is positive 42. Greater than negative 39 plus AB. Okay, what is next? Simplify on the left side. I'm going to simplify the left side. 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 42b greater than negative 39 plus AB. Okay, next, variables. We're going to move variables. I'm going to move 8b to the left, so I'm going to use the opposite. Negative 8b, negative 8b. 8b goes away. Negative 5 plus 42 minus 8 is equals to negative 34. This one is negative 34. B greater than negative 39. Okay, so we're good with that one. Now I have 2-step inequality. Cover your variable. What you have, negative 5. So we use the opposite. Plus 5. Plus 5. So what we have, negative 5 goes away. So negative 34b is greater than negative 34. So we have a multiplication. We're going to divide by a negative number. Negative number. What happened to inequality sign? Flips. So I have b is less than positive 1. Now we need to graph. We need to graph. You go to 1, open. The variable is on the left, so the inequality sign is telling you to go to the left. So all the numbers less than 1 are solutions. So for example, let me choose 0. 0 is less than 1. So 0 is less than 1, true. Let me choose negative 1. Negative 1 is less than 1, true. So we can see that the solution check. So let me see if I have another one before I move. Let's do this one, because this one got an inequality less than or equal. We're going to get solution on that one. Okay. So in this case, we have distributive property again. Most of the problems are going to be applied to distributive property. 3 times 1, and then I have 3 times 4x. So I have 6x minus 29 less equal than 4 plus 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 12x. Simplify 4 plus 3. So 6x minus 29 less equal than 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 12x. Then I'm going to choose to move the variables. I'm going to move this 12 minus 12x minus 12x. We cancel out. Okay. 6 minus 12 is equals to negative 6x minus 29 less equal than 7. Okay, two-step equation now. So what we're going to do, plus 29, 7 plus 29 is 36. So negative 29 plus 29, so negative 6x is less equal than 36. And then we divide by negative 6. We are dividing by a negative number. Okay? So what happened to the inequality sign? It flips. So x is greater than or equal to negative 36 divided by 6 is negative 6. Now you graph. There we go. So I have negative 6, and the dot, I think for the first time, is going to be close because we have a greater than or equal, and it's pointing to the right. So the graph goes to the right. That's the solution. Okay, that's x greater than or equal to negative 6. I forgot the negative here, and that's going to be the last problem. If you have any question, remember always you can type in the comment section or send me a message, and I gladly help you on your problem.